Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. So whether actually you watch this match, my name is Aurélien Orange, and together with my colleague from the Corax Foundation, Miss Urbanova, we'll be hosting this match of the quarterfinal of the Egg University of the Egg Inter-University Law Debate Tournament 2023. So I give the floor to my colleague, the host of this match.
Thank you very much. As my colleague introduced, my name is Anna Maria Urbanova. I am your host for today's session. This is the third quarterfinal match of the Hague Inter-University Law Debate Tournament Edition 2023, organized by Corax Foundation. It is with the pleasure to welcome the debate teams of Université Francaise in Armenie joining us from Yerevan, and the debate team of University of Manitoba joining us from Canada. Welcome to the both teams. Thank you for connecting, and congratulations on getting to the quarterfinal round. Well done. For those watching, just a short reminder of the debate statement for today's session. Debate statement is as follows. Direct-to-consumer advertising of prescription medicines should be legalized. So the teams received the topic at the same time. They had ample time to prepare for the two sides of the argument. Only in a short while they will discover which side they will defend. On the side of organization, I just wanted to add that we are very thankful to Professor Dr. Feldish, who created the topics and is a guarantor for the quarterfinals of this year's edition, which is the first time we are doing this. So with a large thank you to the professor, I will now conclude on my side and give the floor to the students and then the coaches that are present for their introduction. Starting with Université Francaise in Armenie. The floor is yours, Ms. Tatevi Kazarian.
Hi everyone, I'm a fourth-year law student in French University in Armenia. I would like to wish everyone a good game and, well, good luck to everyone.
Thank you very much and welcome. Joining us from University of Manitoba, Mr. Liam Brown.
Hello everyone, it's so good to be back. My name's Liam Brown. I'm a first-year law student at the University of Manitoba, and likewise, good luck to everybody, and I'm really looking forward to the debate.
Thank you, welcome. Returning back the floor to Université Francaise in Armenie's debate team, Ms. Svetlana Makarchyan.
Hello everyone, I'm Svetlana Makarchyan from French University in Armenia, and I'm delighted to be here in the quarterfinals. And I would like to wish us good luck and enjoy the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, we also hope as organizers you have fun also during the match, and looking forward to all your arguments. From University of Manitoba, Ms. Diana Gutierrez.
Hello, everyone. I'm a second-year law student at the University of Manitoba. I just want to say congratulations to all of us for making it this far, and let's have a great match and good luck.
Thank you. Welcome. From Université Francaise in Armenie, Ms. Luisa Melkumian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Luisa Melkumian from French University in Armenia. I'm very happy to be here, and I wish good luck to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. From Canada, joining us, Mr. Stefan Licht.
Yeah, hi, good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. I'm Stefan Light. I'm a first-year law student at the University of Manitoba. And congratulations and best of luck to my colleagues from Armenia.
Thank you and welcome. We also have one of the coaches present for this call, Ms. Peri Mikhailian. The floor is yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Peri Mikhailian. I have the honor to be the coach of the French University of Armenia team. Congratulations on both teams for having advanced to the quarterfinals. This is great. And I'm really looking forward to a fantastic match today. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. And we are also very honored to have one of the three judges for today's session present live on the call, Dr. Emma Nihan, joining us from Manchester, I believe.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emma. I am based at the University of Manchester, specifically the Manchester International Law Centre. It's an honour and a pleasure to be invited to be a participant in a different way in this debate. And I just want to thank the organisers and for organising it. It's been so fluid, etc. And I also want to thank the person who came up with the question. It is a fabulous question, and I look forward to a fabulous debate. And in my eyes, you're all winners. Okay, so enjoy and give it your best shot. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you as well for joining the live session, of course. Just for the teams and the audience, the results will be released once all three score forms are submitted per team. All the judges have up to 2 business days to review, or 48 hours, depending on when the match is taking place. Afterwards, the organizing team will confirm the scores and immediately inform the teams. All right. On that note, I'm passing the floor to my colleague who will, in a short while, share his screen for the allocation of positions.
So yes, so now we move to the allocation of positions. So we share my screen for the teams in the WebEx room. So already on YouTube you can see the wheel. So now in WebEx you will see the wheel as well. So now you should see the wheel with the 2 possible positions for this match: to be in favor of the motion, to be against the motion, for the Université Française en Armenie or for the University of Manitoba. So we click in the center and we'll know which position you will have. So this is Université Française en Armenie who will be against the motion. As a consequence, it means that this is University of Manitoba will be in favor of the motion and will be starting the match, because it's always the team who is in favor who start the match. So it means concretely that as University of Manitoba will be starting the match defending the position that direct-to-consumer advertising of prescription medicines should be legalized, while the Université Française en Armenie will be against the motion, will be defending the motion, will be against and will defend that direct-to-consumer advertising of prescription medicine should not be legalized.
Thank you very much. You now have 5 minutes to finalize your preparation. You can close your cameras and comfortably get prepared. Right. Thank you, everyone. Your final time for preparation is now over. We'll be starting the debate with the team in favor. So, starting with the debate team of University of Manitoba, you have 4 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you, distinguished colleagues and panel. Patients have a right to know about every option that can improve their lives and improve their health. And we're proud to propose the motion that direct-to-consumer advertising of prescription medications should be legalized. Today, I will be speaking to you about why the rights of consumers to hear important information necessitates the right to communicate that information. And my partners will be speaking to you about the improvements this can make to an open and transparent healthcare system. But before I proceed, I should add one thing, that the proposition today does not envision a Wild West, where there are no restrictions or limitations on how these ads, what they can include and how they're marketed. Rather, we consider this playing out much like it does in New Zealand, where ads are considered communications designed to induce purchasing of their product, and prescription drugs are approved medicines, of course, available via prescription through a doctor. So my first submission today is that the rights of consumers to hear healthcare options necessitates a right to communicate those options. Commercial communications is recognized constitutionally as a matter of freedom of speech around the world. In Canada, Section 2 of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms guarantees commercial free speech, as was decided in our 1995 Supreme Court case, RJR McDonald v. Canada. In the United States, it's very comparable. In 1976, the Virginia State Board of Pharmacy versus Virginia Consumer Council went to the Supreme Court, and it was ruled that commercial communications were included in the right to free speech. And lastly, in Europe, Article 10A of the European Convention of Human Rights explicitly mentions commercial communications as a matter of protected free speech, and this was reinforced in the 1994 case, Coca v. Spain, at the European Court of Human Rights. Thus, given this bedrock principle of constitutionalism and free speech, we should really be asking why these ads should not be allowed to air. And I think there are two reasons that are very common and will come up today. But neither of them hold scrutiny or hold water and erode the fundamental principle of the right to communicate these products. The first consideration is that maybe we should ban them because they're misleading. Well, how are they misleading? Because they offer solutions that might not work for everyone all the time. That is true, but that would make all marketing unethical or indeed illegal. Ads for cars promise better safety standards for most of their vehicles, most of the time, and in most circumstances. And that seems appropriate, much like pharmaceuticals. And indeed, political attack ads, right, are the most flagrantly misleading things you can imagine. And we allow them to air and to be posted because the overarching principle is that people have a right to communicate, and citizens, barring very extreme circumstances, have a right to hear and to be pitched various goods and services that can improve their lives and determine for themselves and with their doctors what is best. And a second consideration is perhaps we should not allow these ads to air because the products can be unhealthy. Likewise, that can be true, but let's remember that these are drugs approved by federal health agencies and written up by a doctor, and they're specifically designed to help people, and the overwhelming majority of the time, they do just that. And there are many other products that are completely unhealthy that we allow to be aired. Things like tobacco, fast food, energy drinks, alcohol, casinos. These are all deeply damaging things that we allow to air on television because people have a right to hear. Consumers have a right to hear, and that necessitates a right to communicate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the position against, debate team of Université of Francaise in Armenie, you have 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to debate whether direct-to-consumer advertising of prescription drugs should be allowed. We strongly believe that legalizing DTC would prioritize financial gain over patient care, and we disagree with the opposing team's market-driven approach. Our stance is based on public health risks such as overprescribing, unauthorized sale, misleading information, and increased costs. As a preliminary matter, public health risks related to DTCA have been recognized globally. The WHO and the European Union have expressed concerns about the impact of DTCA on public health. In fact, WHO has established a policy prohibiting DTCA of prescription medicines, and the EU has implemented a ban on the DTCA according to Article 86 of the Directive on the Community Code relating to medicinal products for human use. These public health concerns can be summarized as follows. Firstly, overuse and overprescribing of prescription drugs, including the medicalization of normal conditions. This can lead to severe health consequences, including fatalities. So, for instance, overuse and misuse of prescription antibiotics have led to antibiotic resistance in many patients. In fact, 1.27 million deaths were recorded in 2019 alone. It also goes without saying that DTCA can undermine the prescriber's authority and even create pressure to prescribe certain medications, a concern raised by the American Medical Association. Secondly, the illegal sale of prescription drugs. Individuals can obtain prescription drugs and self-medicate without understanding the potential risks and side effects. Such sales have been reported in countries where advertising is legal, such as New Zealand. Some online pharmacies and darknet markets also offer illegal sales of prescription medicine. Moreover, DTCA in one country can indirectly increase illegal sales in other countries. This may lead to increased availability of counterfeit medicines, which can be ineffective, unsafe, or even fatal. Thirdly, dissemination of false or misleading information. DTCA often employs prejudicial techniques rather than informative ones. So pharmaceutical companies sometimes exaggerate the benefits of their drugs while neglecting to mention the potential risks. A case in point is Pfizer lawsuit. Pfizer was accused of false DTCA advertising for a certain drug, and suit alleged that the advertising misled both patients and doctors. As a result, Pfizer had to stop the ads and include a disclaimer. Finally, DTCA is primarily driven by profit-seeking motives. Pharmaceutical companies set high product prices to compensate for marketing expenses. For instance, in the US, the cost of prescription drugs is significantly higher than in other countries that do not allow DTCA. This can preclude individuals with limited resources from accessing life-saving medicines due to high costs involved. So, in summary, the adverse effects of DTCA on public health are central to this debate. We advocate against legalizing DTCA PD and propose either a complete ban or restriction to healthcare professionals only. It is essential to strike a balance between patient education and safe and appropriate use of prescription medications. This concludes my statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This now concludes the opening statements. Entering the rebuttal space of debate, University of Manitoba, you have 2 minutes.
I thank my learned colleague for their submission. What we heard from the University of Armenia is that they feel that their side is the one that prioritizes patient well-being. However, we would have it that it is actually in allowing direct-to-consumer advertising that patient well-being can actually be fully prioritized and fully come into being. And why is that? It's because of a new trend in medical healthcare called patient-focused care. So what is patient-focused care? It is where an individual's specific health needs and desired outcomes are the driving force behind all healthcare decisions and quality measurements. Patients are partners with the healthcare providers and physicians, and they work together and collaborate to come up with an appropriate healthcare plan. Studies in Brabant, a cross-sectional study in the Netherlands, found that patient-focused care improved healthcare outcomes, social outcomes, physical outcomes, and overall patient satisfaction. And additional studies have actually found that patient-focused care increases a patient's compliance to a doctor's orders. In previous models of healthcare, you would just go in, the doctor would read tests, you would get tests performed without really understanding what was going on and prescribe a medication you didn't know. So what is the link between direct-to-consumer advertising and patient-focused care? Now patients, let's say you have someone with high cholesterol, is watching an advertisement for a medication called Lipitor. They see someone doing things that they wouldn't have been able to do before and living a life they wouldn't have been able to imagine. They come to their physician and ask, hey, could I get a prescription to Lipitor? The physician either says no, because of reasons X, Y, and Z, I feel that you aren't a candidate. Or they give them the prescription because maybe the physician hadn't thought of it, or maybe they think, well, I'll give you this prescription and we'll check back in 6 weeks. Either way, the patient has learned more about themselves, learned more about the treatment plan for their condition, and overall, their healthcare outcomes and their health in general will benefit as a result of this interaction. Thank you.
Thank you. University of Francaise in Armenie, you have 2 minutes for your first rebuttal.
Okay, we respectfully disagree with the opposing team's statement. What concerns the statement that DTCA helps patients to become more informed? We want to mention that while it may be true that DTCA can provide patients with information about the prescription drugs, DTCA can be misleading and provide incomplete information to patients, leading to inappropriate or unsafe use of prescription drugs. The pharmaceutical industry has a history of using DTCA to promote drugs for unapproved uses, such as the case of GlaxoSmithKline illegally promoting its antidepressant drug Paxil for children and teenagers. Similarly, the authorities' drug Vioxx was heavily promoted through DTCA despite being linked to an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes, resulting in numerous lawsuits against the manufacturer. DTCA can also lead to overdiagnosis and overtreatment, create unrealistic expectations of treatment, and also it can encourage patients to demand specific drugs rather than working with their healthcare provider to find the most appropriate treatment. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. For the second rebuttal, debating with University of Manitoba, you have 2 minutes.
We thank our friends for their arguments, but we'd really like to explore the alternative that they're leaving us with. If we're not advertising to the consumer, then we're advertising to doctors, which most countries would allow per the directives that they notified. However, respectfully, we disagree that this is a safer option because there are actual concrete examples that prove how dangerous this can be. And we are referring to Purdue Pharmaceuticals, who advertise oxycodone as a safe painkiller, not to the public, but to doctors. They funded studies and educational seminars and created financial incentives that introduced doctors to oxy, which induced them to prescribe it to their patients. Today, we know that that prescription is highly addictive and one of the leading causes of the opioid epidemic. According to the US Center for Disease Control, it's estimated that between 1999 to 2008, during the height of these campaigns, approximately 450,000 people died. And once again, this was marketed to doctors. Yes, drug advertisements are a multi-million-dollar company. And yes, companies want to make money, but let's also remember that this money is also funding more research, which gives us innovation, creates competition, and ultimately better healthcare. Lobbying for pharma is prevalent, and these lobbying is being done everywhere, even to governments, which was deemed to be legal per the 2010 decision of the European Court of Justice and ABPI and Healthcare Regulatory Agency. These bans aren't stopping or limiting advertising. They're just redirecting them behind closed doors. What we are asking for by legalizing these ads is to bring the information to the public, to create transparency, and allow doctors the opportunity to objectively explain to their patients the risks and benefits, and in consultation with them, determine what is the best course of action. Thank you.
Thank you. Debating of University of Francaise in Armenie, you have 2 minutes for your second rebuttal.
Thank you. After examining the opposing team position, I find it insufficient to stand against our arguments. Firstly, I would like to address the issue mentioned by the opposing team about the fact that the TCA is a marketing tool. Well, while DTCA may be an important marketing tool for pharmaceutical companies, it should, again, not come at expense of public health. Pharmaceutical companies have other marketing channels available for them, and they should prioritize patient safety over profit. Health rights are universal and come before commercial rights, and public health is more important than marketing strategy for pharmaceutical companies to increase profits. There are many examples of how principle of universal access to healthcare have been enshrined in international law and policy. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights recognizes the right to healthcare, and many countries have signed into international agreements that commit them to providing healthcare to all citizens. In addition, many countries have implemented universal healthcare system that prioritize access to healthcare above commercial interest. And I'd like to also address the argument about free speech of pharmaceutical companies. While free speech is an important principle, it should not come at the expense of public health. To be clear, First Amendment of the USA does not protect all forms of free speech. Well, I've mentioned USA because it is one of two countries, USA and New Zealand, that say that DTSA is legal. For instance, in case of Thompson versus Vester State Medical Center, the US Supreme Court upheld restriction on advertising for compounded drugs, finding public health risk posed by such advertising justified restrictions on commercial speech. Overall, legitimate interest of states is banning DTSA is based on public health concern, which overweight the right of commercial speech of pharmaceutical companies. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This now marks the end of rebuttals. We are entering conclusion. Debate team of University of Manitoba, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, distinguished panel and colleagues. To conclude this debate, I will be asking two important questions. What is most transparent and what is best for patient rights? I'm going to compare what the proposition and the opposition have presented to us today. And first, let's look at transparency. Side proposition believes that you should disseminate as much information as possible. There is important decisions like who gets a prescription and why should be based on what the patient believes and what the patient has learned, but also what doctors have learned. And our opponents present this as if there is no alternative. And indeed, there is. The alternative is that specific targeting to medical associations, to hospital networks, to doctors, and as my colleague Diana mentioned, perhaps the greatest healthcare catastrophe of recent years, the opioid epidemic and Purdue Pharma, was not caused by direct-to-consumer advertising. It was caused by the alternative to direct-to-consumer advertising. Second, regarding transparency, new information can be presented in ads. Wholly new products can be presented to the public that they didn't know could improve their lives every single day. Next, looking at patient rights. The opposition has told us that there are things like lower prices that can come from eliminating direct-to-consumer. There's a critical distinction there because in places like Canada or many European countries, it's not that the medication is any less expensive. It's that it is subsidized by the government. And lastly, they said free speech cannot trump public health. We believe that things like motorcycles, automobiles, alcohol, those would all be banned if public health truly came above free speech. But that is not the case. Patients have a right to know, companies have a right to communicate, and it will lead to better healthcare for all. Thank you.
Thank you. University of Francaise and Armenie's debate team, you have 2 minutes for your conclusion.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing team's position should not be given weight as it does not address the core issues of the debate. Let's not forget that prescription drugs are more powerful, complex, and have more potential side effects than other over-the-counter drugs. So their advertising is very risky and requires more specific knowledge and expertise to use safely and effectively. No matter how strict the regulations of drug advertising may be, in many countries the control, especially of internet advertising, is very weak. It is very difficult and often impossible to control all advertising texts distributed, especially on the internet, due to insufficient internal resources and weak international cooperation. For example, according to a study by Sanofi, in many European countries, 3 out of every 4 Europeans are not well informed about what counterfeit illegal drugs are, what effect they can cause, where to get proper medicine, how to distinguish between legal and illegal types, etc. Imagine a world where the bond between doctor and patient crumbles under the weight of persuasive marketing tactics. But the perils don't end here. With the legalization, the costs of essential medicine would soar, leaving those already burdened by limited resources struggling to access life-living treatments. We cannot allow financial gain to dictate who receives the care they need and who is left behind. In the face of such dire consequences, we must take a stand. Together, let us say no to the legalization of DTCA and let the truth guide our choices on this journey to a healthier future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This now marks the end of your graded part of the match. You can now relax, take a sip of water. You're no longer graded in this part. So because it's the quarterfinals match, we have a bit more, let's say, a little addition in regards to the question we would be asking you towards the end. So first, as usual, a little round of feedback with all the students that are present on the call, then with your coach as well, mentor, and giving ample time for the present judge to decide what you would like to share with the students before sending the forms, if anything. So without further ado, giving the floor to Université Francaise in Armenie, Ms. Mikachian. How did you find the debate? Did you already have a chance to encounter this topic before in your studies?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the author of this topic. So this was very interesting and very challenging. As long as we are fourth-year law students, we have already encountered such topics, but not in the whole depth, I can say. So this was a great opportunity to go deeper, to find out more things about healthcare and about public health law and the regulations. So it was super interesting, and we all, I can say, we all enjoyed the process, and the match also was quite great, and I'm congratulating to the opposing team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. From University of Manitoba, Mr. Brown, how did you find the match, the debate? And is this perhaps something you already encountered in your studies?
Thank you so much. This was a fantastic debate. It's no surprise to me that you guys are in the quarterfinals. And, you know, I took a public health seminar course in my first year of my undergraduate degree. So I have some discussion of this topic, but really not in a legal context and not for some years. So it was great to dive back into this. As ever, I kind of wish I had a little more time to speak. But you know, 2 minutes makes you very concise, and yeah, I had a blast as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. From Yerevan, Ms. Khazarian, how did you find the debate? Do you perhaps hear some arguments from the other team that your team also prepared?
Oh, yes, sure. As we both have prepared for the same topic, we, well, have imagined some arguments that the opposing team would already mention. I'd like to agree with my colleague here that this one was a real kicker. It was challenging because for us, because this is also our exam period, so we have to both study for our exams and get prepared for the debate. But yeah, it was interesting and quite challenging. So thank you, the opposing team, for an interesting debate.
Thank you very much. From Canada joining us, Ms. Gutierrez, how did you find the debate? Did you hear some of the arguments that your team specifically prepared as well from the other side?
Yeah, well, thank you to Dr. Foldes for the topic. It was certainly very, very interesting and something that I personally have no knowledge on. So it was very fun to kind of learn something new. It was definitely nice to hear some of our own arguments on the other side. They did quote similar things that we were going to be referring to. So it was great to kind of see how they incorporated it in a different way than we had intended to. I think that's always the greatest part, to see similar things but done differently and done so very well. So it was a pleasure to debate against all of you. And yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Melkimian, how did you find the debate? What did you think of it so far?
Well, it was very interesting. It was challenging as well. Special thanks to Corex's team for kind of interesting topics. They are really amazing. And special thanks to our coaches, to Ms. Petrosian, to everyone who helped us. And it was enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Light, how did you find the debate so far?
Yes, yeah, I thought it was a fantastic debate. Well done to my colleagues from the French University of Armenia. A fantastic debate, very well done. And thank you to the Corax Foundation, as always, and Dr. Fould specifically for this resolution, and the Corax Foundation for organizing. Yeah, I really enjoyed the debate. It's a good topic. Just like my colleagues, I haven't really encountered it in my legal studies. I did get a very brief book on medical ethics many years ago, and it was briefly mentioned in it, but not too much. But yeah, thank you very much. I really enjoyed the debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, giving the floor to the mentor present on the call, Ms. Michaelian, how did you find the debate? It is now quarterfinals. Well done to both teams, really, to getting this far.
Yeah, really, I can't agree more. Well done. Congratulations. It was amazing. Really loved it much and enjoyed it. Preparations went well. I'm not a specialist in medical law either. So, but I have a family member who's a pharmacist, so I had to consult her, like how to guide my team and everything. But yeah, I think the students did a great job, especially given that they have their exam session in parallel. But good job to both teams, really enjoyed it, and good luck in the further stages of the debate.
Thank you very much. And now floor to Dr. Nihan. How did you find the debate? Is there anything you would like to or would be able to share with the teams already?
Well, I just want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. I would like you to give yourselves a tap on the back whilst I'm on this call. Thank you. I just want to say, taking off my judge hat, what I did today was I really learned. So the two words that I would take away is learning and growing. And I think that's what I did today, because I'm no medical law expert either. And I was actually taking notes from both sides, and I really loved how you approach it. And what it really reminded me of is the way we have these novel events or things happening in the world, and how we're trying to apply the law or what exists out there. So it was very interesting to see how you looked at the competing rights, and I just found it a very engaging debate. And I love that you spoke, you had your positions, and I'm sure you prepared, but you also spoke to the other team and their points, and I think that's a really true debate. And I see a lot of growth in these teams already, having looked at them on YouTube. So I really see that you've really improved, and I hope you continue your journey of law debating into the future. And it's been a pleasure to be here. The hard part comes for me now, where I have to actually be a judge. So well done.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's if I can just add also on the side of organization, really it's a pleasure to see the teams grow throughout the competition. And for both teams at this year, it's their first participation. So head down, and especially I understand both teams at different points in time, they were coordinating with their exams. So I think you can also bond over this shared fact. So well done to you all. And here comes the new edition that we asked during the quarterfinals. So is almost the end of the final phase of the competition. So this is an open question to your teams. You can choose who answers it. How did you find the progress so far? Did you see any particular growth, either in team building skills, networking, or knowledge?
I'm sure we all have different answers, but certainly the knowledge building is without limits. Every single topic has been new. Every single topic has challenged us to engage with new areas of law that we haven't encountered yet. For us, this is sometimes a particularly daunting task because we're not currently coached by anyone. So there's a lot of self-guidance that happens. So it's a bit of a blind leading the blind sometimes, but we managed to pull it together. And then the networking part has also been lovely. I know Svetlana and Louisa, for instance, have reached out to us via LinkedIn. So it was kind of great to be able to get to do this debate against them. And I've had the opportunity also to make friends from other schools, such as that of from Columbia, who I hear have made it onto the semifinals. So congratulations to them. And yeah, this has been a great experience, just meeting everyone and learning. So thank you so much for the COREX Foundations and to everybody who's worked so hard to put all of these topics together for all of us, and the judges who take their time to watch us debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would also add a large thank you to the teams that make it possible to schedule the matches, especially we're working also with your academic schedules and all the obligations that everyone has. So we really appreciate that you are working with us and making it possible for those matches to take place. From Yerevan, if there's anyone who would like to
I'd like to add that, well, it was, I didn't know that the opposing team didn't have any coach, so it's quite impressive, actually. Congratulations, you managed to pull it together. Well, from my personal experience already, I can say that, well, the debate was quite challenging, so good job. And I'd like to say that, yeah, we can already see that we grew as a team. Well, we were friends from university, so it was kind of easier for us to work together. But this experience helped us a lot, and surely we learned a lot about different topics regarding law, and it was really a nice experience. And I hope we can continue work together as a team, maybe here, maybe in different during different debates, etc., just so that we can I don't know, grow together again as a team and have a nice experience. So yeah, thanks a lot. And again, nice debate.
Thank you very much. Thank you to both teams. I'll be now wrapping this up just by mentioning that, again, you will receive the results as soon as we confirm all the scores that we received. Already the semifinal topics have been released. So those two topics are for the two matches. We haven't already two teams that had their matches in the beginning of the week know that they have passed the semifinals. So the match topics will be allocated immediately after the teams have concluded all of their matches in quarterfinals. And similarly, the finals, the match for the first place and match for the third place will have their topics released earlier, just so that we can keep within the timeline for the competition. So usually you have 7 days to prepare. Now that will be a bit more. All right. On that note, congratulations again. Passing the floor to my colleague who will be wrapping up the session. Bye,
Yes.
everyone.
Yes, so congratulations again. It was really enjoyable to watch your debate and as well the progression through the whole competition for both teams. So now, as usual, we do a bit of networking, and as well I will add a little bit as well questions that you will see. On the side of Miss McCarthian, for example, did you have already contacts? Do you have friends, or maybe have you been in Canada already?
Unfortunately, I can say that no, I have never been in Canada, but I would love to. So, and I know that whenever I'm there, I have friends there. So, yeah.
Yes, it's a good opportunity indeed from this match to exchange the contacts and then indeed if one day you meet, that would be maybe thanks to that match, thanks to that debate you already got today. Mr. Brown, do you have any friends from Armenia? Have you been in Armenia eventually?
Unfortunately not. Canada is a long way from the Caucasus, but I hope to visit one day. And I actually have a question for our opponents, which is, what is the connection between Armenia and France? And are you French students who want to explore Armenia, or are you Armenians who would love to study at a French university?
So I can give the floor directly to Miss Guardian, maybe?
Yeah, well, I would like to start with the fact that I too have never been in Canada, but would love to. And regarding your question, well, it's actually, how do we call co-diplomation? Well, when we finish the university, we'll have both a diploma of Armenian University and University of Lyon in France. So, well, we kind of study in both universities in both countries, and we'll get two diplomas because of the fact that we study both law of France and Armenia. That's why it's called French University in Armenia. So, well, that's...
Okay, it's a good clarification. To be honest, I didn't know. So, is it Université Jean Moulin? Lyon, yeah, Lyon 3. Okay. So I know. I never been in that university, but yes, it's a very good one in France. So now, Miss Gutierrez, do you have any friends, or have you been maybe in Armenia?
I do not have any Armenian friends, and I've never been to Armenia, but I am never opposed to traveling, and I'm certainly always looking to connect with whom I would call now friends after this crazy experience. So, you know, if I ever get the chance to go out there, do expect a message from me. And if you ever want to come out here, please feel free to contact any of us. Our doors are always open. Thank you.
Many thanks, many thanks. And Miss Melkoumian, maybe you have some connections in Canada, or you have been eventually?
You know, it's a shame. It's the fifth time that I'm saying, unfortunately, I haven't been in that country, but this time I want to say that it's a very interesting country for me, and it's in my wish list to visit one day. I want to say that we invite all of you to our country. You know, you have friends here. And also I want to mention that the very first game that I have watched was your first game, and it was very impressive from this tournament, the very first debate. And I was like, okay, this is a level, this is very interesting and impressive for me. So it was a great pleasure to debate against, I don't want to say against, to debate with you and to share our knowledge. It was very challenging. Thank you very much.
So many thanks as well. That's good indeed to watch the match with the other teams, than to anticipate, but as well to see some techniques as well from other teams, the ones they use, and maybe to try to use as well, maybe during the match. Mr. Leicht, have you been in Armenia? Do you have any friends eventually in Armenia?
No, unfortunately not. I haven't had the opportunity to go to Armenia or meet many Armenians, but I've heard it's a very beautiful country. And Henrik Mkhitaryan used to play for my favorite football club, Arsenal. So I have a small. That's a good chunk of my knowledge about Armenia. But I've heard it's a very beautiful country, and I do hope to visit one day. Yeah. And it finally, for the first time in this tournament, the weather is quite nice in Winnipeg, so it's a good time of year to come visit Manitoba.
Okay, very good. So indeed, so you see, you have some connections already. And Miss Michaelian, have you been in Canada? Do you have any friends in Canada?
No, unfortunately, I haven't been to Canada either, but I have friends from Canada. When I was doing my Erasmus semester in France, I met some Canadian students, and yeah, we became friends. But you are all welcome, really. And especially, Stefan, if you like the sun, we have a lot of sun in Armenia, so you'll really enjoy yourself here.
Okay, perfect. So that there are a lot of invitations. I will have a subsequent question after that, you will see. And of course, Professor Nihan, have you been in Armenia or in Canada?
I'm actually embarrassed to say I haven't been in either places. But I do know a lot of Canadians, I must admit, and they're lovely people. And I've just been able to distinguish between the American accent and the Canadian accent. So now I'm really on the home straight. But it's lovely to see this kind of merging of different people. And obviously, you're welcome to Manchester, a good football city, I have to say. But it's wonderful to see you come together and do brilliantly. And yeah,
Okay,
it
so
seems a bit like the Eurovision Song Contest, but in the legal world, if you know what I mean. That's the vibe I get.
yeah, yep, yes, that is a period of Eurovision, particularly not far in Liverpool. So yes, we'll be watching, I think, this weekend a lot. I don't know if in Canada you are as well broadcasting the Eurovision, but in Europe this is a period at this moment. So the whole Europe and even more Australia, etc. So now comes the question, because there have been a lot of invitations around. So maybe Miss Gazarian or Miss McCutcheon or Miss Mekumian or Miss Michaelian, if the Canadian team come to Yerevan, what is the first thing they should see or they should eat in Yerevan?
Well, it's actually hard to choose one place to say that you must see, as well as food, because we have a lot of ethnic food that is well, very yummy. And I believe that if someone visits Armenia, that they should really try the cuisine here, because it's quite different from what you can eat in Europe or in Canada or in any other part of world. And talking about the places where they should go, I believe, well, the first thing first, they should visit the capital city, Yerevan. And later, there are many historical monuments that look actually, well, incredible, such as the Temple of Garni, Gerard, etc. There are really many places. I can't quite put my finger on one specific place where they can visit, but there is a monastery in Armenia that, well, kinda has my name. It's called the Tatev Monastery, so maybe you can come and visit it. It's an amazing place. So, well, any chance, if any time you visit Armenia, you can give me a call and I will show you everything around. So,
Okay, many thanks.
Very hospitable, so you can visit anytime.
Yes. And do you have additional suggestion? I mean, for the rest of the team, maybe?
Although Armenia is a small country, but there is lots of things worth seeing. And in addition to what my colleague already mentioned, I would love to mention the lake, our sacred lake, like Sevan, and yeah, we don't have like a lot of water. We are a continental country, but Sevan, you will definitely like.
Okay, so it's good to know. I'm taking notes as well. I've never been in Armenia, so as well, I will as well try to see the first parts of the country as you mentioned. And in Winnipeg now, in Manitoba, so Mr. Brown or Miss Gutierrez, Mr. Leicht, in case, yes, the team from Armenia arrive at the airport, what is the first thing you would like them to see in Winnipeg?
Winnipeg does not have any ancient temples, unfortunately. I fear the oldest building in our entire province is less than 200 years old. But we have great natural beauty, much like Armenia, it sounds like. Manitoba has 100,000 freshwater lakes. So I actually think I would show you the Forks in downtown Winnipeg, which is where two large rivers meet. And that's why Winnipeg is founded where it is. And I think we would probably get, of course, some maple syrup and perhaps some beaver tails or bison meat. And I think we would go to some freshwater lakes and look at Canada's natural beauty, of which we have quite a lot.
Many thanks, Ms. Gutierrez or Mr. Leicht. Could you add maybe some other things?
I mean, if we start in Winnipeg and you pick a direction, you are going to see a completely different world as well. Like Liam was saying, the natural beauty of Canada is vast and varied depending on the province that you go visit. So we have anywhere from a lot of lakes to a lot of mountains and beautiful sea coasts on both the east and west sides. So, and a lot of vineyards as well, which is always fun to go hang out and have a glass of wine on a nice sunny day. So really take your pick, and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it all.
Okay, many thanks. As well for Canada, I've been only in Vancouver 3 years ago, and yeah, Winnipeg, of course, is for the distance far from Vancouver, of course, but yes, I would love to explore the rest of the country as well. So many thanks again for all these tips. Of course, we encourage you to keep contact after this match. Yeah, in 2 days you will receive the result of this match, and then you will know which team, of course, moves to the next round. But as well, last element, there will be some information disclosed on Monday concerning the final week, because in the final week we'll have several activities. A part of the finals, of course, which will take place on the 30th of May. There will be as well some visits possibly in case you come, of course, but you will hear some more information in newsletters that my colleague will be sending on Monday for all the teams which are participating to this competition, not just the one of the quarterfinals, of course. So many thanks again for joining, for watching this match. Of course, yeah, it was a pleasure for us to host this match, and we hope to see you very, very soon, of course, for the next step. Many thanks in Canada, many thanks in Armenia, and we keep in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Bye.
Good afternoon. Yeah.